American football, the sport that has never managed to break into the UK, not for lack of trying. In this documentary, we shall be following the rise and fall of American football in the UK and how it has grown in universities, especially in the University of Central Lancashire. During World War I in 1918, when the US servicemen were abroad in the UK, they organised the first ever American football match on English soil. It was played at Crystal Palace and the competition was called the Silver Cup. During World War II, large numbers of stationed men meant that the games were regularly played in the UK, the most memorable being the Tea Bowl between the US and Canadian troops. Watched by 30,000 spectators, the rematch, dubbed the Coffee Bowl, was held in 1943 with 50,000 spectators. After the war, US servicemen stationed in Europe formed the USAFE League, which ran from 1946 to 1993. During the 1970s and 80s, British football had gained a bad reputation, with hooliganism and other antisocial behaviour being frequently seen. Funding was dropping for the sport. This meant stadiums were crumbling and teams were receiving less and less support. As a result, in the 80s, the new Channel 4 started looking at alternatives. Already focused on giving Britain a different range of TV programmes aimed at exploring the new and bold, Channel 4 introduced the UK to American football. Interest in the sport surged as it felt more family-oriented and safer. In 1983, the first game between two British teams happened between the London Ravens and the Northwich Spartans. London and Manchester became the central hubs for the sport. In 1984, the BAFF and the AFL UK was formed. Quickly, there were over 40 teams competing in American football in the UK. However, the team struggled for funding. The same year, 7,000 fans watched the London Ravens become the first British champions.
Stars versus the London Ravens, and here is
Delton Anderson from the London Ravens. Now then, why is it that you go out every week and play the game when you're not getting paid?
Oh, for the hitting.
The hitting?
Yeah.
Right, here's your man.
In 1986, an estimated 4 million Brits tuned in to watch the Super Bowl 20. Budweiser poured money into growing the sport in the UK, sponsoring two of the three leagues.
Get ready, get set. On January 22nd, Bud Bull won. This time, it's for real.
During the 90s, the decline continued steadily. In 2005, the last remaining British-based NFL Europe team was replaced, moving nearly all European American football exclusively to Germany. Finally, in 2010, the collapse of BAFL meant the British American Football Association was founded. In the 2010s, there was a second wave of American football support in the UK, largely due to Wembley hosting multiple games and a cult following. However, there was another key element to the sport's popularity that many failed to notice: universities. In 2016, Vice magazine published an article about American football in the UK. Spurred on by the rising popularity in the games, it interviewed ex-university players turned coaches, something common within the sport in the UK.
I coach the UCLan Rams.
I coach for the UCLan Rams in Preston. I have played American football. I started playing American football in 2015 for the university.
Yes, I played American football for about 10 years. My first interaction with American football was when I went to university. I wanted to join a team sport, and a big guy like me, rugby is the natural thing to go for, but I'd never really played rugby at school, so I was like, there must be something else. American football, they can't expect me to know what I'm doing. So I started American football, joined the team, absolutely loved it, and 17 years later I'm still involved in the sport. When I started, university teams, there was about 30 teams across the country. There's now 90 teams across the country. That's the same in the adult league, in the youth and junior league. It's expanded massively, particularly since the NFL started to bring games over to Wembley Stadium.
You'll have your traditional contact sports like rugby that people play, and it's something else that you can try, especially if you're at university and you've played contact football before. You can try it at university level. And it's just something that you see on TV, but you don't really get the opportunity to do it at a younger age in the UK until you really get to university level. Initially, it was the club I was playing at didn't have a coach available for a particular training session, and so I was like, the coach was asking, "Can you run the drills?" So I run the drills. That carried on week after week, and before I knew it, I was the positional coach for that position, and I thought I liked it, and so I started doing my qualifications. And after a while, I sort of realised, actually, I'm probably a better coach than I was a player. So it just grew from there. The NFL in general has paid more attention and started to put more into American football in this country. And the other thing I'd say, though, is at university level, since the University League joined books, that seems to have helped a lot more universities bring on American football teams.